Tarkir, a plane of tumultuous violence. Its history has been written and rewritten, forged in dragonfire and cast in blood. It has at times been a land of soaring winged beasts, at times a land of duplicitous khans, but always a land roiled by ambition's consequence. In a time now lost, Tarkir's dragons died out, and from their bones arose 5 great clans, whose khans carved the plain with fortunes shifting as desert sands. Conflict was constant between them, connivance rare. The khans moved against another to claim land and glory. Their character, their conviction, and their reverence towards the ancient form of the dragon shaped the khanates under their rule, bestowing upon each clan a distinct worldview, unique strengths, and unforeseen weaknesses. One such clan embraced the savagery of nature, and through great strength of will, sojourned to the frozen peaks and wildlands at the very edge of the earth. They are a rugged folk, austere in their devotion to ancestral knowledge. They dominate through force. They tame a realm as rigid and dangerous as themselves. They are the Temur. Though they live in a time that has not seen dragons for ages, the clans of Tarkir are exposed to their memories through ossified remains and distant wisdom. Each clan views the dragon as a sublime being and fully embraces one aspect of its character. People of the Temur Frontier represent the claw of the dragon, symbol of its wild savagery. They value strength, the dragon's prerogative to take whatever it demands above all else, and as a testament to their own, extend the frontier ever outward, taming Tarkir's frozen tundras and alpine forests. Their respective savage nature strongly tethers the Temur to green mana. Though in constant conflict with their environs, the clan relies on nature for sustenance, companionship, and wisdom, seen in the card Feed the Clan. They partake in great hunts led by a master tracker known as the Hunt Caller to both replenish food stores and prove physical might. Heroic feats of strength earn Temur renown, and their confrontational temperament is seen in cards like Roar of Challenge, which shows one Temur warrior standing alone against a horde of enemies. And most famously in the card Savage Punch, illustrating an epic brawl between a Temur and a wild bear. The connection to green mana's strength is mechanically highlighted with the keyword Ferocious, seen on many Temur cards. This grants an additional boon when there is a creature with power 4 or greater, a symbol of savage might. Green mana's ferocity is stoked by the hot fires of red mana. Red represents aggression, action, and explosive emotion. Temur draw on the strength of mountains, on the steaming magma of volcanoes to further supplement their instinctual urges and augment flaming magic. Red mana stirs hearts and prepares bodies for the great hunts of the Temur, its conflagration lifting bestial emotion to ever greater heights as the mind is singularly focused on the violence and bloodshed of the hunt. We see this on display in Temur Battle Rage. The sweltering volcanic flames are adeptly wielded by Temur shamans and battle mages to unleash destruction upon foes, highlighted in cards such as Crater's Claw and Volcanic Visions. The natural element of fire bolsters the strength of the forest, but these licking flames are cooled and tempered by blue mana's embrace. Blue represents calculation, ponderance, and wisdom. It's the color of intention, of foresight, that on its surface conflicts with the Temur's hot savagery. But green and blue share in the reverence of nature. They see wisdom and beauty in the world, and those who accept both colors view the land as the greatest teacher, warning of past mistakes and shepherding the future. Blue is present among snow-capped peaks, mountain glaciers, and frigid streams found in abundance along the Temur Frontier. Shamans use blue to fuel incantations whispered in seclusion that grant insight and foresight from ancestral spirits of the surrounding lands. Mages, meanwhile, channel Arctic blasts to freeze foes seen in Crippling Chill and Icy Blast, whose flavor text reads, "Do not think the sand or the sun will hold back the breath of winter." Mist magic is equally used to repel enemies or disrupt dangerous spells with counter magic, which we can see illustrated in the cards Force Away and Stubborn Denial, the flavor text of which summarizes the Temur despite their use of blue mana. The Temur have no patience for subtlety. When combined, these colors create a clan of cunning temerity, one that survives in the harshest lands through understanding of nature, through its reverence, and through embracing its bestial savagery. The admiration of the landscape is central to Temur culture. It is hardship, but it is also sustenance. We hear it in the flavor text of Frontier Mastodon. Each bronze disc on its harness is an offering from a young Temur hunter, a sign of respect to the spirits of the wild, as well as in that of Glacial Stalker. Have you spent a winter high in the mountains, where the ice walks and speaks to the wind? It is not a place for those who have not learned respect. But contemplation of mind doesn't yield complacency of body for the Temur. This clan has within its ranks Tarkir's fiercest warriors. Outfitted with large clubs, axes, and occasionally nothing more than their own brawn, Temur are relentless on the battlefield. They charge into the fray riding atop large saber-toothed cats seen in Temur war shaman, or running alongside grizzled, ferocious bears whom they view as close allies, illustrated in Bear's Companion. The Temur Frontier begins in the deep valleys at the base of the domineering Kalsisma mountain range and extends into the remoteness beyond. The clan ranges and hunts across the inhospitable Kalsisma for much of the year, but when deep winter arrives, it's accompanied by frost even the Temur can't endure, and so bivouacs are pitched in the protective rim of the Karakik Valley. From their frozen redoubts, Temur trackers hunt for sustaining game, testing their strength against ferocious mammoths, bears, and other predators that stalk through white snows. To rejuvenate body and spirit, many Temur journey to hot spring caves warmed by seismic activity, or to the parlous rims of active volcanoes, one of the few locations on the frontier where winter's icy grip thaws. Kalsisma's peaks whisper on strong winds. They hold secrets of the past and arcane wisdom for Temur mystics who sojourn through dangerous paths. We see this beautifully illustrated in the card Seek the Horizon, whose flavor text reads, "The Temur call the flickering lights the path of whispers, believing that they lead the way to ancestral knowledge." Kinship is the foundational pillar of Temur society. When death is ever present and harm closely courted, deep trust is imperative, and blood binds Temur as iron into familial clans. Families are led by the fiercest warriors, who value the welfare of his or her own more so than the greater clan. Despite this, families view others as siblings, companions in life's great struggle, and continue the motif of familial dynasticism, swear fealty to the Khan. The Temur Khan is viewed as the parent of all clans. Their word carries the weight of superiority, and they administer conflict and cooperation between families to ensure peace. The first father of the Temur is Surak, a noble leader of impressive frame, steadfast conviction, and unimpeachable physical prowess. Surak has cemented his position as Khan by jointly claiming the title of Dragon Claw, an accolade recognizing its holder as the strongest warrior, the greatest fighter of the Temur. Surak embodies bestial savagery and inspires his clan through actionable example. With kinship acting as bedrock of Temur society, the clan has developed reverence towards ancestry and an appreciation of the bloodlines from which they descend. Temur hold many superstitions over death, spirituality, and ancient knowledge. Chief among them is the belief that voices swirl around them, hushed remonstrations or benevolent guidance emitted by ancestral spirits trapped within ice, frozen in time. This empowers shamans and mages within the clan who use mystic arts to decipher such pleas, and are viewed by clansmen as living links bridging the chasm to the past. We see their mysticism on display in cards like Shamanic Revelation and Whisperer of the Wilds. Shamans are known as whisperers trained in the subtle skills of time manipulation. They perform secret rituals, anchoring them to points in the past and bestowing upon them visions of their ancestors. The practice of whispering was long ago taught to the Temur by the infinitely wise and powerful spirit dragon Ugin. Whisperers are held in high esteem by all the clan, and through their revelations the Khan is advised on how best to lead his people. Although the Temur are a predominantly human clan, they count among their allies many creatures and races that have successfully endured nature's hardship along the frontier. As mentioned, they use large cats and bears as mounts or hunting companions, as seen in the card Temur Ascendancy. Temur have also ceremoniously adopted into their family several Ainok, savage hound folk that fight with abandon and know the ways of survival in unforgiving lands. We see them illustrated in Inox Survivalist. A race of woolly elephant folk known as Loxodons also populate the frontier and ally with the Temur. They represent raw strength and the stunning beauty of nature, which is on display in cards like Avalanche Tusker and Woolly Loxodon, whose flavor text reads, "Even among the hardiest warriors of the Temur, Loxodons are respected for their adaptation to the mountain snows." As a clan so in tune with their environs and so connected to the past, Temur have great respect for elementals and spirits that wander the tundra. Elementals are manifestations of nature's will. To those who live harmoniously with the earth, they are powerful allies. To those who would deface it, implacable foes. Likewise, spirits are called upon to wage corporeal combat, to invigorate the living through great boons, or to fuel powerful fire and counter magic. Humans and their auxiliary races meld into a formidable clan whose ferocity gives pause to any would-be foe. For the Temur, the time of Khans has passed into impossible myth, this branch of reality severed by the actions of Sarkhan Vol. Their fate, much like that of the other clans, has been reforged, their new reality dominated by soaring, voracious, and savage dragons no longer extinct. With the invigoration of dragon storms on Tarkir, the clans found themselves not merely engaged in intrigue amongst another, but in a struggle for existence against rapacious, implacable dragon broods. With the subsequent Khan fall, the clans were swallowed and subsumed by draconic overlords, their ultimate fates dependent on the whims of such powerful creatures. The Temur fought valiantly against the basest, most aggressive of broods led by Dragon Lord Atarka. Much blood was spilled, but the survivors of the battered and scattered Temur families saved themselves from annihilation by offering up kills of their great hunts to placate the ever-hungry Atarka. As remnants of the Temur were gathered into Atarka's fold, they wholly embraced the savagery of their overlord. Slowly, the ponderance and ties to ancient wisdom found in blue mana were snuffed out by the violent fires of red and green. They no longer cared for their connection to the past, nor worried about what the future held. They lived only for the hunt, for natural strength and aggression manifested in their Dragon Lord. The Whisperers, the shamans of the Temur, grew unnecessary, conspicuous, and their magic seen as a danger to Atarka's brood. They were shunned or slain in droves, a pogrom that destroyed the memory of Temur, the wisdom of ages past, and the strong connection to blue mana. The shattered remnants practice in secret, which we see in the card Circle of Elders. The flavor text reads, "They whisper of an ancient hero who saved the dragons of their world." In the Day of Dragons, the last vestiges of the Temur Khanate have sworn fealty to Atarka and her brood. They respect her power, revere her bestiality, and whisper prayers to honor her as they lead hunts through frontier wilderness in hopes of gaining the recognition and gift of feeding her directly or another of her hungry brood. It's a precarious situation, but one of mutual symbiosis, as Atarka's ferocity largely protects her supplicants from deadly machinations foisted upon them by other dragon lords. Temur, a name that in one reality harkens the strength of nature in the wilds, in another, a whisper of a dream long forgotten. This clan strives through adversity, respects the natural order, and seeks wisdom from their ancestors. They are of the earth, a foe strong as the grizzled sabertooth, relentless as the blizzard snows, as fiery as the volcanic peaks. They are a people that revere the dragon's claw as a symbol of savagery, embody its deadly aspect, and demand respect worthy of the name Temur. Thanks so much for watching and listening to this video on the Temur Frontier, and stay tuned for following videos discussing Tarkir's other clans. Now I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on Surak and the Temur, Atarka and her brood, as well as suggestions for future videos in the comments below. And if you're a fan of lore and storytelling, be sure to subscribe to the channel, check out the podcast or the blog, where content is uploaded frequently. I want to thank my amazing supporters over on Patreon, who make all of this possible, and I couldn't do it without their fantastic support. If you'd like to become a lore luminary for access to me, a great community, written scripts, and early video drops, head to patreon.com/thelorebrarians to learn more. Until next time, go forth and explore the lore. Bye.